continue from photosynthesis. So we stop from, and don't forget we define photosynthesis as the process by which plants, brain plants, uses the sun energy or light energy from the sun to convert CO2 into organic compounds or into chemical energy stored in the form of organic compounds. So we said photosynthesis can be divided into two reactions. We have the light reaction and we have the dark reaction. And we said the light reaction is as a result of the fact that it occurs or it needs the light to occur. It needs the light to actually it needs the light to absorb the light, the energy from the light, which is going to be used to fix CO2. Now, so that we can understand what we are saying, we said photosynthesis is divided into two reactions. We said the light, right? Light reaction, and we said the dark reaction. So, but the main purpose of photosynthesis is to do what? Is to fix CO2, is to use carbon dioxide and produce energy, which is stored in the form of what? Organic compound. But our organic compound, for instance, we have glucose C6H12. Observe this formula very well. Now look at this now. We want to fix CO2 to glucose. We are only having one carbon here, and here we are having 6. CO2 will not just come from the atmosphere and just enter our plants, bam, and be converted to organic compound like that. No. The energy by which they convert CO2 to organic compound is produced in the light reaction, in the daylight. So by the use of light, sunlight. So you see, the light reaction uses sunlight to produce energy for this cell, energy for this reaction, to occur. So the main reaction is actually the dark reaction, where we are converting CO2 to what? Organic compound. But the light reaction produces that energy by trapping or by capturing sunlight. And now that energy that is being produced, very important, we are going to mention it now, is called what? It's stored in form of temporarily in what? In ATP. Don't forget, ATP is the energy currency of the cell, and another molecule called NADPH. Now, if you remember our cellular respiration, we said ATP is the energy currency of the cell, and we said we also have other molecules that store ATP temporarily, and we said it is NADH. Now, but here we are writing NADPH. It's different. Here it is NADPH. In the cellular respiration, it is NADH. Just for you to remember, we are talking about photosynthesis. But so that molecule is going to be having what? NADPH. That's just the difference. So in our cellular respiration, we have our cellular respiration. We have what? NADH. Just pay attention to this, so you will not, because you can, in your option, in your past question, you can see what are the energy molecules by which energy is being stored temporarily. ATP and NADH. B, ATP and NADPH. You know what to pick? NADPH. But in our photosynthesis, energy is stored temporarily in what? NADP. I'm writing that P very well so you can see it. pH. So that's what is happening in the sun, in the light and the dark reaction. CO2, organic compound, energy from the light reaction. So the first thing that happens in the light reaction is that we are trapping this sunlight. Where is the sunlight going to be trapped? In an organelle of the cell called the chloroplast. The chloroplast is an organelle of the cell. That will mean that before any organism can photosynthesize, can produce their own food. I'm using organisms because it's not only plants that actually do photosynthesis. We also have some organisms. For instance, we have the algae, blue-green algae. They use photosynthesis. But one of the things that they must have is what? Is chloroplast. If they don't have chloroplast, they cannot photosynthesize. That's why you say find the difference between the plant cell and the animal cell is what? The presence of what? Of chloroplast. Because chloroplast is what is going to be used to trap or capture sunlight, which is going to be used to produce temporary energy used by the dark reaction to fix CO2 into what? Organic compound. Is that clear? So, in our organelle chloroplast, there are particular pigments. Pigments are are actually what capture light, what absorb light. Objects have pigments. So chloroplasts contain what we call chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. This chlorophyll is what absorbs the light, or let me use what capture the light. They capture the light, the sunlight, where in our light reaction. So the first thing that happens, very important in our light reaction, is the capturing or the capturing of sunlight in chlorophyll, or say the activation of chlorophyll. So let's look at the reaction in chlorophyll in the light reaction. What happens in the light reaction? So how does the chloroplast or the chlorophyll capture this sunlight? So we have said that chlorophyll is what captures sunlight. Of course, there are also other pigments in the cell, in the plant cell. We can find these chloroplasts in the leaf, the stem, the green plant part of the plant. There are actually other organelles. We have chlorophyll, which is the main capturing or main capturing pigment. We have chlorophyll, and we also have carotenoid. Remember, if you know your carotene, that usually they don't use it to bleach your body. Carotenoid is also one of it's a pigment. Though it's not the actual one that is actually capturing the sun. It's not in our leaf. For instance, if you say in our leaf now, let's say our leaf. Let's say this is our leaf. Please don't mind my diagram. So if you look at our plant cell, let's zoom in. Bam. In our plant cell, you should know how to draw plant cell by now. In our plant cell, we have different things. Our chloroplast, for instance, this is our chloroplast. In our chloroplast, I want to show you where photosynthesis occurs, the light reaction. In our chloroplast, let's zoom into the chloroplast again. The chloroplast contains chlorophyll, right? So it's this chloroplast, this chlorophyll, and the carotenoid. This chlorophyll is actually the main pigment that actually captures the sunlight. Before we go into that, let me zoom into our chlorophyll. In our chlorophyll, we have chlorophyll is something like this. Just imagine it like this. Let's just say it's something like this. Then inside our chlorophyll, we have some structures inside like that. Let me use that with some structures like that. They are called thylakoids. I'm trying to zoom into the actual part of the plant where photosynthesis occurs. The actual part of the plant where this light reaction of photosynthesis occurs. They are just like seeds. So they are called thylakoids. Thylakoids. You have to know the name very well. So those thylakoids are joined together. You see other thylakoids. You join together, other thylakoids like that. Then you will see that the photosynthesis occurs on this thylakoid. The light reaction occurs on this thylakoid. They contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the main pigment that absorbs the sunlight. Carotenoid is also an accessory pigment that captures the sunlight. So we'll look at in this thylakoid what happens in the thylakoid in the next video. Thank you.